right, so you guys are going to talk. We always like to do it's like an exit interview for interns. You're not the first one.
Yeah.
But we talk about your experiences. We
Okay.
ask you questions. You answer the questions. You've had a lot of time to ask the questions.
Okay.
So, Samir, we'll kick it off.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. It's from my end perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like my end kind of gave you a whole New York City experience
Definitely.
from the first day riding on the train and the homeless guy telling you need to wear
Better socks. Yeah.
And you still have the white socks on. So still areas of improvement. Dress socks with suits.
Yeah.
Okay? Or no socks, swag, no shows.
Yeah.
Okay? but the white socks,
Get some Ospreys.
it's just funny because I looked down and I just remember
Yeah.
the very first day.
The homeless
like,
guy
the homeless guy was like,
I know.
"Hey man, you look great, but like, you
Yeah,
got to
no
figure your
socks.
socks out."
Yeah.
Like, so you got the homeless guy interaction. You got the hot summer in the suit, sweating your butt off, freaking
in the train,
in the train, doing whatever we got to do, rushing to appointments.
Yep.
Did all of that. You got the cold calling, the attention to detail, and it all culminated with this past week with you securing an appointment for the Huxley, right?
Yeah.
Which now we're literally in negotiations for an offer on a contract.
Rick was telling me about that, which is awesome.
Yeah, so like, just from your perspective, walk me through, like, from the start of the summer, like, what all that we did that led you up to doing the actions to get that. It's kind of what I'm looking for. Like, what do you think you did? What were some...
To get to that appointment?
Yeah, to get to that point. So throughout the start of the summer, what have you done this whole summer that we were able to actually execute and get that offer?
Okay, well, first let me say I think I'm a completely different person how I walked into this summer to how I'm leaving this summer. Genuinely.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, like genuinely. Like I've learned, I sincerely appreciate my time, the opportunity that I've been able to share with you guys this summer, and I've absolutely loved it. And I've learned so much from you and Nile. In terms of that specific appointment, I think there's so many things that go into it, which is following up, right? Consistency, building on momentum, cold calling, leadership style, staying on top of people, but also positive reinforcement. Like there are so many different things I learned this summer that are obviously pertainable to real estate, but I think pertainable to life as well and being successful in life. So to that, and that just shows in that one appointment, right? That's just a small molecule of what I think everything that I've learned as a whole this summer has been.
Yeah. So one of the very first days, you came in and you built a couch.
Yeah.
You sat there,
Exactly.
Shirt off, tank top, building a couch. What did that lead to? It's like, all right, what does this have to do with real estate, whatever? Yeah, I'm just putting it together, a couch in our sales office. Well, doing something like that, like, oh, what am I doing with these lists? I got to clean up, 1,000 contacts and, sift through, oh, does this person have a phone number, blah, 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 like list after list after list that we had you put together. Well, what does that lead to? The fact that when I can go to you and say, hey, I need you to take this list, 2,000 people, put it down to 800 people, and then individually text every single person on this list, 800 people, take you 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Then what's going to happen is we're going to go to an apartment at 10:30 in the morning on a Sunday when you want to be resting, we're all hungover, freaking, doing whatever. We're going to clean and mop and do the windows of this, 800K freaking studio, whatever.
Yeah.
What does that lead to? Me being able to have a successful appointment, clean, smelling great, looking good, with you reaching out to those contacts. Oh, I might have a buyer for this. Boom. To them booking the appointment. Boom. To us cleaning the apartment, putting together couches, doing those type of things.
Yeah.
So that when we actually do have the appointment, everything, every little step, every little week, boom, 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 leads up to that. And then that's what brought in the offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could have just showed the apartment like we always do. But it's the actions in the process of this business is what gets to the offers.
Yeah.
Like getting the listing doesn't mean anything, doesn't mean shit. You have to do all of those little things to get to this point, to get a contract out, to then maybe sign it, right? So I'm really proud that, especially like on your last week, there's a method to our madness. There's a method to Nile saying, put together a couch. There's a method to us saying, the apartment's clean. Yeah. It's not dirty, right? It's staged, it's blah, blah, blah. But, like, does it smell the right way?
Yeah.
Can you wipe your hand across the countertop and not have any dust, right? The whole, because as a buyer walks in, they feel like they're at home. They feel like this is someplace I want to be. Yeah. That's what it takes. In this business, it takes you wiping your finger across, is there any dirt, is there any dust? You don't see it from the surface level. Yeah. But you're lifting things up and doing it. So kudos to you. I'm very proud that you were able to do that in your last week. And those are things. So don't, in the future, in your life, like, oh, you can do an assignment, but be going above and beyond a little bit more. Like, that's what it takes. It's just that little extra effort that other people aren't willing to do and flame out of this business. The ones that stick around have done the little things. Yeah, and
I can attest to that because, you know, I think the no ego thing, you guys really punched in me. I mean, I never really thought I got an ego, but I think seeing that from you guys, being, you know, as successful as you are and still being on point, be like, yeah, we're still cold calling even though we're the number one team. Do you know how we got to be the number one team? It's because we're cold calling and because, you know, we're showing up on a Saturday cleaning apartments. So, yeah, I think being able to see that firsthand was super helpful as well.
Gangsters in silence. So,
exactly, and make sure and attest to your success.
Yeah, we talk about it internally to keep ourselves motivated and pumping up, but like we know. Yeah. As long as you know. Yeah. We know that we're putting in the effort and the time, then that's all that matters. So, just wanted to give you your props on that. And
awesome.
I'll hand it over to Nile. All right. Appreciate it, brother. And
of course.
I'm going to bring it home for us, okay?
Yeah. Bring it home. All right.
All right, Christian, how'd you meet me? Why don't you explain that to everybody?
Yeah.
If you want. It's up to you.
I'm going to finish out this deal. I
all right. All right, man. I'll get you later.
Yeah.
Make that money, boy.
Yeah, met you through an Instagram DM. I DM'd you. I thought it would be a really great opportunity to, one, be with the number one sales team at Serhant. I get a ton of sales experience.
I got a ton of sales experience. I'm 19.
It's true.
I'm fucking loaded. What'd you sell before?
Like social media, like
sold
deals.
His biceps.
Like social media deal, yeah, like modeling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so it's a bit of a different industry.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but going into that and often Instagram DM, and I thought I'd be able to combine. You know, the biggest thing that you also instilled was building a brand and building a market behind you. And I still remember that team meeting. I think it was like 3-4 weeks ago. How you said, AI can't replace that. AI can't replace your brand. Right. And so totally attest to that because if there's anyone that's been able to build a brand at Serhant besides obviously Ryan, it would be you or Genesis. That's pretty much, those are pretty much the key players there. So I wanted to learn, you know, directly firsthand, not one, just to get a ton of valuable sales experience, but also how to build a brand behind you and keep that momentum up for myself as well.
Right. So what would you say is like the biggest factors of like building a brand that you learned or observed?
From you, it's your work ethic and just constantly running at 110% and things that I never even thought of before, which is like blog posts, websites, reaching out to PR, ChatGPT, exclamation point. Now.
And you can have, I need it now.
Yeah, I need it.
No good, I hate you.
Yeah.
You better, IQ of 180 now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I think it's not just focusing on just one thing, but it's kind of hitting, you know, which is something that I love. It's, you know, it's not just hitting TikTok, it's not just hitting Instagram, but it's going after YouTube, it's going after Twitter, it's going after all these different streams because they all add up to build up who you are. And then you also have the show. Right. You know what I mean? So I think saying that firsthand was super helpful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is a blog post important? Explain it to me. Because you overviewed it, but like, okay, so you're talking about blog posts and Twitter and all these things. How do they really feed into each other? And how would you, apply that to maybe your brand?
Yeah. So blog post has to do with SEO, right? As if you search up Nile Lundgren, we're making sure that you're constantly coming up with, let's say you write a blog post, I just leased a $30 million mansion in Miami, right? So that is coming up firsthand when people search up your name on Google. They say, oh, well, I didn't know about Nile Lundgren, but now that I see that he has a $30 million home in Miami, that's got me intrigued because I'm in Miami and I'm looking for, to sell my luxury real estate. So you utilizing that and being able to connect that, with SEO, and you're doing that through blog posts, and not just through blog posts, but also social media, is helping you gain clients and make more money and build your brand. So everything to this business. So it all adds up.
Yeah, a lot of people see real estate and then they're like, but you're not doing real estate. You're working on blog posts.
Yeah.
You don't understand. And being a real estate agent, you have to forget about selling real estate. You have to market yourself.
Yes.
If you can market yourself, then you get leads and then you sell real estate. But if you don't know how to market yourself, it's a problem. So I do it fundamentally through the website, which you're talking about, right? And that helps out with the search engine because Google recognizes a search engine.
Yeah.
Then you have the supporting ones like social media, Instagram, Twitter. What have you learned from the differences between like an Instagram? Because before you were probably like, oh, X, I don't know, and I'm on Instagram or you're on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
So like from your habits of where you were when you came in to now, what is your understanding of all the different platforms and how they kind of tie into that, global online presence that you're creating or I create or you create?
I don't understand the question. What are you asking?
So we talked about blog posts. What I'm
Yeah.
talking about next is the social media.
Okay.
So what was your interpretation of social media at the beginning?
Oh,
For
okay.
example, maybe you were TikTok heavy,
Yeah.
right? And whatever. And then now you're looking at it through a different lens, right? Where Instagram is used for this, TikTok is used for that, X is used for this.
Got
I
it.
see LinkedIn as potential here.
Yeah. Okay.
Because each one has its own unique strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would say, each social media, like you were saying before, is different, and each one has their own strategy, but they all build upon each other to your own personal brand. So it's important kind of not to neglect, I would say, any of them because they all can help. Twitter, you're doing every day. Today's the greatest day yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like that stuff adds up, but you wouldn't post that, let's say, on TikTok or Instagram. Instagram is a much more visual app, so you're going to do, all your showings on there,
Yeah, what's the date I have to go to until today's the most important day yet?
Like the next 3 years. Yeah, I'm locked up for the next 3 years.
Last year I only had
you're
1
good.
year at my intern. My sister was my intern. She
Yeah.
gave me 1 year, and then it ended, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And everyone was like attacking me, like, why did you stop? Is everything okay? I'm like,
Well, you got another 3 years back up, so you'll be all
Thanks.
right. Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Of course. So they all have their different uses, but the main component is that they all build onto your personal brand, which is the most important thing, and that's making sure people know who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then, that's like the personal brand stuff that's on marketing. And that kind of marketing is like you put the work in, but it's like it's passive. It's working when you're sleeping. They're going to your website. They're looking at your TikTok, right? But then there's like a different kind of marketing. This is like the total direct outbound marketing.
Yeah.
Which is different, right? So then were you aware of like cold calling and direct outbound marketing before?
No, I never cold called in my entire life before I came here.
Right.
Yeah.
And we told you to make 100 calls in a day.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah,
wait,
I was like, what's that crash and burn? You know what I mean? That you kind of got to go through a little bit, and then also you were able to guide me and help me.
Yeah,
out through
like
that.
I basically set you up, don't give you too much guidance, and watch you just struggle and fail. And then that's how you learn about somebody.
Exactly.
Are they going to keep trying, which you did, and learning on everything? Like at the oral, you'd have like a bad call, and then like, all right, do this, and then you'd have a better call.
Yeah.
And then eventually you were learning that like, you kind of have to like be to the point. You have to listen. Are they in a meeting? Are they on the subway? You have to make sure that they understand. Does that make sense, John?
Enunciating, yeah.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, and then you work with tonality, pausing, when to come in, right?
Making sure you get a yes right away.
Yeah. Is this John? Hey, John! Oh, yeah, John, it's you.
Yes,
so glad we're speaking again. Look, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, beautiful day, right? Anyway, give me your money. Right?
Yeah.
You gotta like, because nobody can, when you call somebody and you're like, hi, this is Cristian. I'm a real estate agent. I'm calling, click, bro. Yeah, but if you're like, hey, is this John? Hey, John. And you're just like excited about it.
Transferring enthusiasm.
Right? And then they're now excited that you're calling. Holy shit, this guy who's excited is calling me. You're like, you're the best. And he's like, really?
Yeah.
And you're just fucking gassing him up. And the next thing you know, you got their cell phone, you got an email, you got an appointment booked, you know, and that's a really...
That's how you do it.
Big, I would say, growing point for everybody, you know. Generally, when I have interns come in, one of the first things I do is I have them sit in one of the booths and just make calls to book like sponsorships for past events. Now we have like other people do it, but it's the same thing. Everybody is put through a very similar phone calling challenge situation. My question is, did you like it? So now your eyes are open to it, but did you like it? Was it exciting to you? Did you like the thrill of the chase? Curious.
Well, I've always been about the thrill of the chase. Just in life. Just in life.
Boy.
Yeah, just in life in general. So, cold calling, be able to get a lead, and then, you know, hopefully lock that lead and get that person in, and you never know what can happen. Hopefully that leads to a sale. So, everything about that whole process, I absolutely love. You know, it relates back to, you know, even to sports, where it's like, you know, when you're in football, it's like enjoying the gym. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of little things behind it, but they kind of all add up. And I love the journey, and I've been taught to love the journey and love the process rather than the end result.
Right.
Obviously, the end result is great, but you got to fall in love with the journey, and cold calling is a huge component of that. So I've been able to love that.
Yeah, and it's an important part if you want to make a name for yourself. You know?
Absolutely.
I spent many years of my career just doing that, you know, and I failed. And that failure is what really made me who I am, because it teaches me resilience beyond just, you know, maybe being down in the fourth quarter and you're being resilient, you know, okay, that's good. But like, this is like real. Like your life is on the line.
Yeah.
You know, no one's paying you any money.
No.
You know, if you don't do well, like you're fucked.
Yeah, you're paycheck to paycheck.
So that, not even paycheck to paycheck, you're deal to deal. Paycheck assumes that you get paid every week.
Yeah.
I could get paid for a year at one point. You know, like think about that.
Yeah.
I was just counting pennies and dollar pizza. But that's like figuring it out and like having a real determination. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing that I try and always show people, and I'd like to lead by example. You know, you first got to the Aura and you're like, wait a second, why is this guy acting like a psychopath? Right? I'm sure.
A little bit.
Probably were like a little stunned.
I was like, shit. Okay.
I was like, because when I'm in serious work mode, I'm like,
you're going
I'm
at a
fucking
different
on
speed.
it, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and if you come at me with some left field shit, you fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
You know? And you saw that. Yeah. But that's also like, in my opinion, you know, that's one of the only ways to really show people how serious you are. You know, what am I going to go show up and then just be like, oh, it's okay if it's not excellent? Like, no, bro, we're here for, like, I'm not here to be number 2.
Yeah.
You know, like,
why? Why would we
what's
do
the
that?
point of that, bro? I'm a winner,
exactly.
bro. I have championship rings.
Yep.
Okay, I know how to win. I've been a winner my whole life. You know, prom king, what's up? It's all good, bro. When you're the fucking man, you're the man. And then, you know, it's like, that's a stain, unfortunately, that, you know, you can't wipe off.
No.
Is when you're a winner. Yeah. So as much as I would get no's, as much as you might get no's, you know, you relish in the fact that you're running fucking gassers right now.
Yep.
And sometimes it sucks when you run gassers. But if you believe in yourself and you keep going, then, you know, you lead to, you know, a call with that guy, Graham Orator.
Yeah.
How did that shape you? So the story is that we were having Cristian and Nicola cold call owners of expireds, and he got on the phone with one guy after a team meeting, And I happened to pick up the phone
Yeah.
after you fumbled around at the beginning. And you're like, I think this guy's... I'm like, let me take it. So I took it. And how did that change what you believe about the telephone, right? Because you could go from literally, that guy has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
We call him, and then 24 hours later, what happened? Like, how?
Yeah.
Like, what did that teach you? Because that's a fucking story.
It really taught me that at 21 years old, man, if you want it, you can compete. You know what I mean? And nothing should be able to hold you back. If you want it bad enough, you can do it. You'll find a way. So, yeah.
You got the guy on the phone.
Yeah.
I spoke to him.
Yeah.
And what did the guy say?
Locked in an appointment.
All you gotta do is lock an appointment. That's all we're doing. Tomorrow at 3. Does that work?
Yep.
You know, he fucked with me a little bit. I fuck with him, right? He's like, if you get me on the show, I'll give you 7%. I said,
like, make it 8.
why don't you make it 8? 7? And he's like, deal. I'm like, really?
All right.
And then I rolled
I still
up.
have that video on my camera.
Dude,
Yeah, it's hilarious. I love it.
I mean, yeah, maybe I should look at that. Did you airdrop that? I might want that.
Yeah, I can airdrop it to you.
But that, for me, was a big moment because as a leader, you know, I always talk about things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard because I had my years of cold calling. And now I cold call a little bit less, but I still have to go outbound people. But I have a steady stream of clients that keeps me busy, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, when I had one of my first breakthrough moments is I always thought cold calling was whack. And one day when I was working at this place on Wall Street, I got a guy on the phone. They actually threatened to fire me. They said, hey, you're fired. You've been here for almost 3 months. If you haven't closed the cold call deal, like, you're fucked. And I really don't like somebody who's like shorter than me telling me I might be fired. So I got pissed.
Yeah.
So I went over to the fucking desk.
Yeah.
I found my best lead. I researched this lead. I called the guy up. Hey, is this Bob? Hey, Bob. Guy was boarding a fucking private jet. Jet got stuck on the tarmac.
Jesus.
Now he's got my captivated attention.
Yeah.
Because he's stuck on a fucking thing and I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
I tell my manager pops in, he helps me with the call. I do an $80,000 deal. A guy gave me the black card to his Amex on one phone call after 2 hours. And my armpits were so...
Yeah.
Because I kept the guy on the phone. I remember because you could hit mute, and I would hit mute, and I'd be like, who here knows a good restaurant in Long Island? And then like someone's like this. I'm like, have you ever been to this restaurant, John? Are you going to Long Island? Have you ever been here? And he's like, say, yeah, I know that place. I'm like, thank you. You know, like you're muting it and like you're demanding that. And it was like that kind of environment. We worked on Wall Street. Yeah. And we would like share information like that. But after I did that, and then I went outside and smoked a pack of cigarettes back to back, because I was like, holy fucking shit, that worked. Like, to actually do it.
Yeah.
And then see that, and then I just made, in that moment, I made $12,000 in like.
What were you doing? What job is
2
this?
2 hours. I worked on Wall Street for a little bit in a boiler room.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I made $12,000 in an hour. 2 hours.
Were you a broker? What were you doing?
I was selling things.
Okay, all right. Separate story. Yeah, all right.
But they had the best cold call training ever. So I learned most of my tricks from these guys.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't really advertise it. But anyway, that opened my eyes to the fact that you can call somebody cold if you say the right things and you keep up the right energy and you say more of the right things and build rapport at the end, that it's possible every time you call.
Yeah.
So the only thing that separates anybody from making all the money is how many times you call. Mm-hmm. Because if you just keep calling, eventually you're going to get one of those. It's just numbers.
Yeah, it's a numbers game.
And then, you know, for you who's calling people and not getting too much of a response, and then you see how I get on the phone, but I'm like light and playful and like hitting mute. Yeah. You know, what did that teach you about that side of the business?
It's never that serious.
Everybody's like, I'm going to cold. I'm like, what's up, John? Yeah. Hey, big buddy. How we doing? Yeah. What's going on, Nile? Lundgren? Yeah, dude, I'm here, bro. You ever seen Netflix? I'm on that shit, whatever, bro. Yeah. But like, you want to be on it? Nah, let's go 8%. Yeah. 8%. I said it. What are you going to do about it? Yeah. And then the guy's like, because if you actually come across with that kind of air, it just demonstrates the other side that you don't need them. It's subconscious.
It's just being genuine.
If you're too, like, I'm a real estate agent, it's like you need it. And if I smell that from you, I'm like, desperate. You should probably get out of here. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
Yep.
So that was good. And then Samir said that, you know, you guys went through, did that. Huxley thing, and you guys ended up finding that. So what was that exercise like, just from your perspective? Seeing that whole thing come full circle. Like, what an amazing experience that you get to see that our crazy antics, although we act crazy, actually do yield results. And to be honest, the thing that separates us, and specifically what I learned with Serhant, is that's the difference. Mm-hmm. Like the extra mile is never crowded.
Yeah.
It's always like everybody's in this pack. Yeah. And if you're just doing a little bit more, like you're clearly
out of the game
in the lead.
Yeah.
So talk just a little bit about how you saw that whole Huxley thing kind of fall into place.
Yeah, I think you kind of crossed all the dots on it, but to attest to the Huxley, there's this 202 that you guys have been trying to sell it for I don't even know how long, but
3 years.
3 years. But that one unit, there's 2 units that have been a really big struggle. And, just trying to basically get this off and just sell this. And, how to do it is just to go through the entire list of every single person that you show, which is probably around maybe like 500-600 people. And then texting every single one, following up. And then sure as you have it, one person responded and said, oh, yeah, I forgot about that, but I do have someone for that. Can I bring him in? Yeah, let's lock in an appointment. You go the extra mile, you clean everything, you make sure everything's good. They go to the appointment, they like it, there you go.
Smells
now you got an
good,
offer.
They feel good.
Now you got an offer, now you can finally cross it off your list and you're done. But instead of just giving up, you said, now what else, what more can I be doing? And it's going that extra step. And you say, you know what, I haven't double-checked the list, or I haven't followed up a 30th time on this list. It's executing that.
Do you understand that everybody who's ever started and worked at the Huxley, I've told them to call every person on the list. They've gotten calls from every person. So if you were one of the first people to come to Huxley, every new agent that comes in or intern calls that list. So they must be getting calls from 30 different people for 3-4 years over and over and over.
Awesome.
That's how.
There's one unit, But hey, sure as you have it, it's you guys are about to lock it in, so that'll be exciting to see, and hopefully, hopefully I can catch a little action of that.
Let's see. Well, you do have some action coming to you. A little bonus coming to you this week on Friday. So thank you for that.
Of course.
For your efforts.
Of course. It's my pleasure.
What else did you just get from a high level? I know we talked about some specifics, but just high level, real estate, high level business. What are some of the key takeaways?
From luxury real estate?
Working this summer, man.
Yeah. Key takeaways. I kind of said it before when I was with Samir, just kind of everything I learned, going that extra step. I think the biggest thing that I learned from you is your leadership style. And that's something I really want to implement, because for me, my, the plan is obviously to get mentored and learn as much as you can and be a sponge. But the end game for me is I want to be my own leader and I want to lead a team. And so being able to see your leadership style and how you're on people, but it's that positive reinforcement and you genuinely want people to get better, but you're also willing to let them crash and burn is super important things. Like when I was with you and you're like, Sarah has no idea what the fuck she's doing, but he's like, fucking go fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, there's only so much as a boss and as a leader.
Because what am I going to do? Micromanage?
Yeah, you can't micromanage everyone. So, being able to see that at 21 years of age is just an incredible opportunity for how I want to plan out my foreseeable future and how I want to be later down the road. And being able to acquire those skills at this age, especially still being in college, is super, super helpful. And then just touching on the luxury real estate market is also the big thing is a lot of with these clients, it's like you can't have normal conversations with them, which is a huge thing too. And you have to find some commonality. So, talking about the watches or, the boats or, it's studying up on a different sort of game that just 99.9% of people aren't even aware of.
No one has any clue.
Yeah,
dude, I'm running. They're like, how do you?
I haven't even.
They're like, how do you sell to billionaires? I'm like, you motherfuckers have no clue, dude. Do you understand what an e-foil is? Are you sailing? Do you know what a kite surf? Are you wakeboarding? Are you wake surfing?
No.
Do you know the difference? Do you surf? How, where have you traveled in the Middle East to scare people to show that I'm ballsy enough to go here? Multiple times, fuck you. And dude, people are like, what? But the people that need to know, they're like, oh, okay. I get that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's
Yeah.
the difference. Because if you're
Yeah.
just talking about, like when you talk really rich people, they're not talking about the game.
No,
They don't care
they're
about-
not. They don't care.
About
Yeah.
the game?
They don't care.
That doesn't have any bearing on my life.
No.
Maybe I'll go to a game and sit front row because
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's an entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm not watching the game and talking about it on Monday.
Mhm.
I'm talking to these people about the market. I'm
Yeah.
talking to these people about, dude, I was just at Patek down in Miami and this is what I saw. What
Yeah.
do you think? And they're like, oh, yeah, you know. And that's the conversation.
Yeah.
The conversation is not about the fact that you played video games. Like,
Yes.
that's a quick way for them to be like, you're in my kid's bucket.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
like, get out of here.
Get away.
You know, so it's about having the desire
Mhm.
to sell luxury. You have to have the desire to cultivate
Yeah.
your awareness
Mhm.
and your expertise around what luxury is, and you have to define that.
Yeah.
Because if you define where actual luxury is, like my definition is, I need to have 5 friends at any time who own private jets.
Okay.
That's how I determine it.
Okay.
5 people that own jets.
Yeah.
That way, as I'm friends with those people, then I get to go on free rides all the time. Which is
Okay.
basically
It's pretty nice. Yeah.
Okay, so
Sweet
that's
spot.
so you like I had to make a goal. It took me 20
Yeah.
years to get there.
Yeah.
But you know, you set a course. Okay, I need to know. Okay, I want to sell $30 million apartments. Well, those people generally own private jets. So like, let's try and meet friends
Yeah.
and only hang out with those people. And if they ask me to go anywhere in the world with their jet, the goal is I just say yes,
Yeah.
and I never say no.
Yeah.
And that's how I got to go around the world. And then I met people and I had more experiences. So that when people are like, oh my God, I'm thinking about going to Ibiza this summer, I'm like, oh yeah, I stayed in Ushuaia, presidential suite, DJ fucking booth in the middle of the living room. What did
What were
you?
you up to?
Oh yeah, it was probably nice.
Yeah.
And they're like, they don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard, bro.
Mm.
Like if I showed you pics, you'd be like, wait. There really is a DJ booth in the middle of the living room in the presidential suite at Ushuaia, the number 1 party spot in the fucking world. And we have a fucking private terrace overlooking the whole thing with a fucking 75-foot hot tub.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just one night,
Yeah.
one time in Ibiza. But that's what you need to learn
Mm.
and focus your attention around. Because if you play in those circles and you understand what that is, then selling to those people is fucking easy, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you get it? Yeah, I was just, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is what you should do.
Yeah.
And this is why you should do it. Why? Because I'm the fucking expert.
Mhm.
Any other questions? And they're like, okay, cool. But then you get like these younger people, like the bankers who are like 25 and
Yeah.
making, 150 grand. Like,
Mhm.
You know. I used to work with those people. They have like the biggest ego.
Yeah.
They think they know everything.
Mhm.
Once you get really high up,
Yeah.
those people are looking to you because they hire the expert. When
Yeah.
you're rich, you don't try and be a real estate agent.
No.
You're good at your job,
Yeah,
and then you
stick with that.
hire the real estate, then you hire the financial, then you hire the attorney, then you hire the CPA, right?
Yeah.
You don't do it but that's what those people do. So I realized because I was getting a lot of friction at this level,
Mhm.
and I was like, let me just
Go above that. Skip that.
higher.
Yeah.
Let me just go from like the 1 to 3 million and just go right up to 20 to 30.
Yeah.
And like, let's see what that's like. And then it took many years of like establishing myself and showing up and then demonstrating value until they recognized me and then gave me a shot. And then when that happened, nailed it and then nailed it. And now it's built into something. But
Yeah.
I had a compass first. I had a vision I set.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I was able to understand what luxury is. And then once you understand what luxury is, then you can sell it.
Yeah.
And then everything else, like the other new development projects, whatever, that just turns into a game.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, well, how am I going to play this video game right now? Okay, we're gonna fucking lower the price here. We're going to put these photos on, switch all these photos online. No good.
Yeah.
Delete everything. Get ChatGPT to make it better. Do this, right? I mean, like, it's hilarious. Like, you saw how it was working?
I saw
That
the
one
process.
time, I'm like, all right, let's look at what these other guys did because they're good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just look, kitchen, living room, and then bedroom. All right, let's do 2A as a kitchen, 2B as the living room, right? Like, that's literally just like, how crazy is that? But that's like, let's not reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just look at what works.
Yep. Just
And
tweak
then-
it.
And just
Love
tweak it, mirror it.
Yep.
You know what? Because otherwise you sit there and you're going to be thinking.
Takes forever. You're
And
wasting
then
time.
everybody's going to have opinions and nobody
Yeah.
really knows. So I'm like, this is how, because I was improvising in the moment then too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to do. I mean, I have an idea, but
let's
like,
try that.
let's just go to this. And I
Yeah.
was like, and then because I was like, oh, it'd be a good learning point for everybody. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like,
Yeah.
now we don't have to think. But that's how you should be with problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's anything that you really learn, it's like any time of unique challenge that is in front of you, it's about, how do you pivot immediately, address the challenge, focus on the solution immediately,
Yeah.
and then bring it home.
Yep.
Versus like, talking about things.
Mm-hmm.
What a nightmare, It's like everyone has an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's my opinion is let's close deals and make money.
Yep.
How about that opinion?
Yeah.
Good. So, what are your closing thoughts?
Your time. Well, I want to test your time opportunity cost too. I think that one of the biggest things I learned this summer was time management. And if you want someone to get something done, you go to a busy person, not someone that's not busy. And it was just like such subtle, like small things. I think it's hilarious, but it's like you always hang up like 2 seconds before, and it's like 2 seconds times 7 is 14 times 365. I'm like, what the fuck is that talk? But I'm like, yeah, but it makes sense, and it adds up, and there's truth in that. Even though that seems like such a little thing, like there's a lot of truth in that. So yeah, I mean, on top of all the things that I learned this summer, I think closing argument was, being able to live in New York City was also in of itself, even if I didn't intern for you and I just had to live here, you're gonna grow so much because of that, because you're in the place where it's the richest, craziest city in the world.
It's
so you have to. Yeah, you have to.
You have to. Otherwise, go right home. We'll never see you again.
Exactly. So as a person and as a young man, I just grew so much from this opportunity, and also being able to see how kind of Serhant operates, outside of the team, and what they're doing here compared to other brokerages, and just dealing with people I have nothing in common with, but being able to find common ground. Just so much negotiation and just, helpful skills that don't even just apply to real estate, but that I can further apply to my life.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, being able to walk out of, the summer and go back home to my senior year, but knowing that, I'm a better and changed, and I just feel like I got so much out of the summer and I really accomplished what I needed to accomplish. It makes me feel great, and it gives me a whole different passion to come back here and hopefully, let's do something special.
All right, bro. So you thinking about, you like this career path?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a grind, but I love that grind.
Yeah.
And, obviously I want to talk to you further about it, and let's figure something out.
All right. Well, the door's open. You got to get your license.
Yeah. Well, we got to figure out, that's what I mean. You got to figure out the details on all that, right? So.
But that's stuff you could do over your senior year.
Yeah.
So that when you're done, you're ready, you're licensed, and we'll have a bunch of projects, and the good news is you'll have an understanding of those types of projects.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in general, I'm not just going to bring random new people onto the team. They have to have like a year or a little bit, months of intern so they get what's going on. Like, most people, they think they want to work with me, and then they start seeing how aggressive I am with getting things done, and how they're like, whoa, and I'm like, that's fine. You're not for me. Like, you're a slowpoke. Like, I don't deal with this. Is New York, bro. If you're not fucking talking a mile a minute and making shit happen, like, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, exactly. Get out of here. Right? But at least you can be like, okay, this guy might be nuts, but let me make these phone calls, and eventually you saw success, and you're like, okay, it comes down to numbers.
Yeah.
And if you could do that, then that tells me that, you have at least a promising chance at having a career in this, because the most important thing about this business is booking appointments.
Yeah.
And you don't book appointments over email. I mean, you do when they come in, it's your listing. But if you don't have the listing, I'm fortunate to have listings. When you don't have listings, like, you gotta
figure it out.
Fucking figuring out how to book people to look at stuff. And that's the whole business. And you do that over the phone. And that's why we want to push people at the beginning when they start to make those phone calls and to fail, because you build up fundamental resilience, the fundamental phone skills that say, okay, I know this is difficult, but also let me have some fun with it and fuck with these people, because who the fuck cares?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does it matter? It's some random dude.
You got nothing to lose.
And I always just say,
it's never that serious.
Yeah. Bro, I always just say, bro, do you like bags of money? Because that's what I'm offering you, is a bag of money. Do you like money?
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Yeah.
You know how much money I've made just by aggressively saying that to people? And they're like,
what?
Who are you?
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm the guy who's going to give you bags of money. Do you want that? Yes or no? He's like, yes. I'm like, okay.
All right, let's make this happen.
So just hear me out.
Yeah.
This guy that I know, and I'm a broker, has a lot of money. He wants to buy your property for this amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could share your financials to verify the offer before I submit it formally?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yep.
It's easy. It's really easy.
Yeah.
But you did that, so I'm proud of you for doing that. I'm also proud of you for, reaching out and then following up and being a little annoying and, intentionally. You see how I move. I'm like, I ignore you, blow you off, do this.
Yeah.
Blow you up. But, like, that's it. Everything that I'm doing is
I knew you were
there's
doing
like
on
10
purpose.
kids that do that to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So I do it to everybody. And then usually one or two is, like, annoying. And I'm like, all right, that's the one.
Yeah.
Because, like, everybody else tries twice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, do this, or like I ignore them, and then they stop.
And then they stop. Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Is I need to know if people have what it takes inside.
Well, man,
training.
I mean, I never give up. So, I'll be persistent till you die. So
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's a very remarkable trait.
Yeah. Well, I know myself, and I knew you had that in you too. So I said I can learn a lot from this guy if I just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you learned a lot, and I'm really happy to see that you grew so much. And
yeah, thank you.
I'm sure your parents are going to be happy to see you come back a different man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to be like walking in like, hey, so how you doing?
I did that.
Yeah. They're going to be like, what? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
You got pics with the squad. You know the deal. You're, so good for you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming
Appreciate
out.
it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. All right. That's it. All right.